Hey, this is Eric from Catching Light.
Hey, this is Hemp.
Hey, this is Glenn.
Hi, I'm Steve-O.
Hey, this is Drew Hines with Hindsight Imagery.
This is Matt Callahan at Digimatty Photographic Services.
Hey, this is Jason, and welcome to Tales from the Pit. Hello and welcome to Tales from the Pit, the behind the lens access for concerts and photography. Today is our part 2 with Bryson Roatch. We hope you enjoy the show. So do you have a favorite tour that you've done in the past, or was there a favorite show or favorite moment that you have sort of in your history that you're like, damn, I wish I could do that again?
There's a couple of things that come to my mind. I will say this tour that we were on just recently with Hollywood Undead in Europe. We actually got sent home from that tour because of COVID. We had like a day to get back before they were shutting the borders. But before that, that tour was awesome. We were just getting along with all the band members. We were going out and venturing together on the days off, like hitting up the other band, the full band, the whole band. Like a lot of times it's like you find your little group on tour and you're like, oh, I'm going to hang out with just the singer. Or I'm going to hang out with the lighting guy. But this tour, we were just getting together, the full group every day. And we were having a lot of fun. But a tour that in particular was really fun. I had this idea to take the band Papa Roach on adventures on the days off. And it was kind of we called it Get Rad. And I would set up it was just the band was kind of not digging on each other at the moment. They were just fighting all the time. And I was like, I always try to bring the peace. It's just my spirit. And I was like, well, why don't we go on adventures? And it really brought the band together. And I took them horseback riding in South Dakota. I took them rock climbing at the Garden of the Gods in, Colorado. I took them bubble soccer in Chicago where they were in bubbles bouncing off each other. I mean, whatever I could find, I was taking them on an adventure on that tour. And that was fun because we were just like doing super rad shit on the days off and we were just trading a tag on Instagram, like we'll tag your business for this experience. And that to me was a pretty memorable tour and moment. And, I've always had a lot of fun with the Struts. I mean, me and the singer, again, we really connected and bonded, and just hanging out with him. I remember we 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we went to Spain for the MTV Music Awards, and that was just crazy. We were like there, and the dude from Oasis performed, and all these pop stars and whatever. But me and Luke would just, for 3 days, we had 3 days off. We were just like tripping around Spain, Seville, Spain, this beautiful place, drinking wine, eating, getting drunk. And we looked like two gay dudes on a date. Like we were having a blast, but I was a moment me and him talked about, we're like, man, wasn't that so fun? We were just traveling around Spain for a few days, just doing whatever the hell we wanted, and getting paid.
That's awesome.
That's a moment.
Get out again.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the things where it's like the road is hard, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But then there's a lot of amazing moments. And sometimes you take those moments for granted because you're so exhausted in the moment, you just go, and you're just no sleep and you're sacrificing, again, relationships and you're missing people. But when you think back about it, it's fucking too good. It's good sometimes,
Cool.
So, I've been aware of the band for a long time, and I was aware of who you were and what you were doing with the band for a while. We've done a few VIPs myself. I got to watch I believe your making of one of the albums. I forgot which album it was, like a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, Cricket Teeth. I put together
right.
VIPs.
Yep, and that was really cool. Yeah, it was cool to see that. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and one of the podcasts that I listened to that I learned a lot about you was on the Jamcast with James Michael. This was several years ago. You did a podcast with him. James Michael's one of my favorite singers, as well as Jacoby. So that was really cool.
Yeah,
but I got
awesome.
Yeah. And I got to really learn a lot about your history and stuff like that I had no clue on. And I assume most people don't. And you've kind of talked a little bit about that in regards to your blog and stuff like that. But what I'd like to do is kind of go back and talk about sort of mental health and how you deal with that, and how that was a thing that you kind of grew up with. You want to talk about that, maybe sort of?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, I don't know what I said in that podcast years ago, but what I guess I'll freestyle, but, back when I was a kid, I was, diagnosed at a young age with bipolar. And for those of you who don't know what bipolar is, it's basically you're very manic and happy, or very depressed and sad, and it's very extreme. And so at that time, my parents were trying to get me the help that I needed. And unfortunately, back in the day, there wasn't a lot of information like there was now. So you got medicated, and you would just get pills shoved down your throat kind of aimlessly. And then you'd have to wean off of them. And some of them made you really fucked up, and some of them made you have crazy side effects. And so long story short, I mean, I was kind of a part of this whole era in the 90s that happened to a lot of kids, unfortunately, where kids were just having pills. And then there was a point in about 2-year span that I was on like 25 different pills, and you'd have to get on them and wean off them. And, there was a point where I was almost in a mental hospital because I was so fucking out of my mind,
Right.
So for me, that was a huge thing in my childhood. And, coming with that, it was like I missed a year of school because I was so fucked out of my mind. So 4th grade was pretty much shot for me because I was so unstable and whacked out, and I had to redo it again. And, my parents at the time were just trying to do the best they can. Of course, they probably felt bad. And of course it was fucking like, fuck, like, are we fucking up? Are we doing the right thing?
Right.
And, it's interesting because now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, did you guys do the right thing? Or like, did I get taken advantage of by these doctors, And,
Right.
And so it's a conversation. It's funny this is being brought up because I'm about to tell you guys something I was working on. I'll tell you that in a second. But basically, yeah, I mean, as a kid, I went through that. And, I've always kind of had at a young age, you're like, who the fuck am I? Like, what's going on? And I started to get stable over the years, through trial and error, and thank God, but when I turned like 12, I got stable. And then my brother became the most famous fucking rock singer in the world. And so here is another traumatic, fucked up experience. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, to be honest, like, I've always kind of like haven't had an identity, so to speak, my whole life, like it's just constantly like taken from me in bizarre ways, so mental illness has been a thing from the get-go. And I've always struggled with it to a certain degree. I've just been able to manage it in my adult years through the arts, through the videography and stuff. And so the thing that's crazy right now, man, is I'm actually like, I've gone through all this fucking shit, and I'm just like, in this pandemic, I'm like, man, like I've never really addressed my childhood. I've just kind of stuffed it under with art and travel. I've built the recipe for healthiness, and that recipe's fucked right now. Right. So I'm like, I need to like, and the thing is, reason why this is such a big thing for me is I meet mentally ill, unstable people in the world. I'm not touring with Justin Timberlake where you come party and you drink and everybody's happy. I'm out with bands that are fucking writing music for the people. And so I meet all these people, and I've always felt a duty to kind of express and expose what I've been through. I never want to play victim. I've never wanted to talk about it in a way, because a lot of people are like, poor me. And we've all been through shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. We all have been through shit. And so I've been waiting for a long time to kind of like, how am I going to start to share this journey my way? Because a lot of bands get to write music, and that's an outlet, and it connects with people. So something I started recently is painting this through all this. And I bought this mannequin. Well, my mom kept this book when I was a kid, and it's fucking this big, right? And this book has like every side effect I went through on a meds, pictures of my brain, holes in my brain from this drug, chemical imbalances from this drug, fucking 504 plans to the doctors or to the schools, letting me have extra time on tests, those things, letters to the fucking government of Sacramento saying, help us, we're desperate, my son needs help. suicide notes I wrote to my mom, pictures I drew on drugs, me wanting to murder my mom and kill her. I mean, I was fucking fucked, and my mom kept it all. And I've had this blue book at home, and I opened it during the pandemic finally after fucking 25 years. And it's crazy, man. Cause I've been like, I was dating a girl in this fucking pandemic who was borderline personality. And she was everything I was kind of fucking when a kid, and it was triggering me. I was just like, you are fucking scary. You're blowing my mind. I can't be with, I had to like end the relationship because she was like really taking me in a dark place.
Yep.
But I'm also at the end, dude, like I've been only broken up for 2 months and I'm angry for sure, but I'm also looking at the positive and I'm like thanking her in a way. She doesn't know and she'll never talk to me because she's struggling. And, but I'm thankful because she made me realize like, I need to address my shit. Right. And so what I did is I took this book and one night I started cutting up all these fucking things and I started gluing them to a mannequin. And so you've got prescriptions on there and everything I was explaining to you, all fucking collaged on there. And I'm like, and I did it. And I just did it one night and I filmed it. And I was like, all right, this is the start of my journey to fucking talk about my shit. Because my career's fucked right now. And I'm going to fucking address this. Because I always want to be better, dude. Like I have that spirit to be better. It fucking brings me, I think it's cool to be better. You know, it's so cool to like, to like, cause we all been shitheads at one point and done dumb shit, but I'm like, I love that we can be better, you know?
Right. Yep.
So I put all this stuff on there and then this mannequin's been sitting in my apartment for fucking 2 months. And I'm just like, some days I look at it and I start to cry and I'm like, this is weird. I'm crying. Like, it's just fucked up.
Yeah.
And so I hit up my mom and this is the crazy thing. I brought it home for Thanksgiving and I was like, Mom, I want to film us talking about this on camera. And I want you to give your side of the story and I'm going to tell you how I fucking feel. And if you're offended, whatever, like we're going to film it. I want this to be something that's healing for me, for you, but also show other people they're not alone on this shit. And it's just a weird way of showing that to the people instead of through music or through my video work. This is just a bizarre thing. Yeah. And so I brought it for Thanksgiving. My mom wasn't ready to do it. She's like, I'm not ready. And I'm like, okay. So I fucking put it in my apartment. I got to stare at this fucking thing. I bring it home for Christmas. I was going to do it today and I wasn't feeling it. You know, I just wasn't. It's fucking crazy, bro. Cause I'm trying to be brave. And like, this is that thing finally. And so it's sitting in my car and I'm like, okay, we'll try tomorrow, you know? And I'm like, why am I I know why I'm being a pussy. Like it's heavy shit, you know? And I'm about to like, I gotta be in the right headspace. Cause like right now it's already the holidays. Everyone's emotional. Like can't see everybody because of COVID. Like, so it's just a weird time, but I'm like, fuck it. Like I'm going to try to do it tomorrow. So my goal is to interview with my mom, talk about her perspective. Cause you got to understand, like, you know, when songs like Broken Home and Last Resort come out from my brother, it looks bad on my mom. You know what I mean? And she's dealt with this whole life and she's been supportive, but my mom's an awesome person. It's just, she's got 2 unstable sons, you know? So she's like, I want to fucking have my say on this because I'm a good mom and I did my best. And so I want her to do that with me. Yeah. And then afterwards, I'm going to cover this piece of art with paint and I'm going to beautify it and cover the bullshit. And then I have this idea of taking it to the fucking desert and lighting it on fire. Dude, and this is the journey of my expression of something deeply rooted through my childhood. And it's the beginning of my personal journey, dude, after all these fucking years, because I've always been serving others and these others that I've been serving have been healing on the surface, right? I'm traveling the world, I'm doing things, but it's crazy, man. Like when you have trauma and you don't fuck with it, you think everything's good, but when you really start to think about it, you get anxiety for some reason. You start to like, you start to cry randomly, and it's something I'm just experiencing right now, man. And I think a lot of people are, to be honest. If you're not fucking experiencing some crazy shit right now and everything's fine, like some people are fine. Like my parents are retired and it doesn't affect them too much. Right. But people like us who still work and they're trying to stay busy, I hope that everybody's experiencing and trying to get better, because this is a hell of an opportunity right now to come out of this thing with not being who you were a fucking year ago. Hell of an opportunity.
So it sounds like you're still going through the healing process, which is good for you.
Yeah, but what's crazy is I never even think there was anything I needed to heal. Because here's the thing, I talked to a therapist and I was like, do I need a therapist? Like, she's like, no, you're fucking self-aware. Like, you are so aware. You don't need a therapist. She's like, but what you need to do is start telling your fucking story. And I've always felt like my stories, to a certain degree, I know it's fucking rad because I've been through mental illness to the max as a child and nearly had my life taken from me and made it out. And then I had a very successful brother, and that's an interesting story. And he has his own fucking, you know, mental illness that he still struggles with it. And I truly feel why me and him are together and work together. We need each other, and he needs me out there. Like, it ain't just a fucking, you're paying me and I'm working for you. Like, this is there's a, you know, there's something to it between me and him, and you know, it's fucking awesome. So yeah, I mean, it's a journey I'm exploring right now of this, and I guess anybody watching, I urge them to explore that within themselves right now and take this opportunity instead of being pissed and angry and fucking, you know, because I'm doing it. I'm trying, you know, and I'm pissed right now. I'm going through a breakup, dude. I'm fucking, my career is fucked, but I'm just doing it, dude. So I'm in the midst of it, and you guys are, you know, hearing it first, I guess, that this is the first part of my little expression and whatnot about, for me, you know.
Well, you seem like a very
so I don't know where it's
positive
gonna
individual. You seem like a positive individual, so you know that's a good thing.
I have bad days, but I
all?
like to play devil's advocate is kind of my thing. I always like to, you know, in every situation with my friends, I play both sides. With myself, I try to play both sides. And trust me, dude, I fucking get angry almost every day, a little irritated by shit like we all do. But I do always try to look at the positive, and I don't know why I do that, but I know it's a better way to think of things.
Gets us through.
What's the age difference between you and your brother?
He's 44 maybe now. I'm 12 years younger than him. I'm 32, so he's got to be 44. And,
do you ever feel like there was a competition, like you had to be, you know, obviously your brother's, you know, a popular individual? For sure. I mean, one dynamic I've always noticed is I've always wanted to, I mean, throughout my life, everyone's always talked about my brother, my parents, everybody at their wine parties. Jacoby's killing it. What the fuck is Bryson doing? So of course it's been a huge driving force of having some sort of success. He's also had jealousy of my success at moments at this age, you know, and he may not admit it, but I've been on shoots with him where, like, Born for Greatness, I'm the director. Everybody's fucking coming to me. I'm fucking telling everybody what to do. And I remember one night he was just like, it's weird. It's just weird, like, that you're the shit today and I'm not, you know, like, you're the dude. And I'm just like, yeah, for fucking once, dude, like, give me my fucking chance, you know? And still to this day, I'm always supporting my brother. And you know, I hope but the thing is, he supports me, dude. He's always my number one fan and giving me opportunity. He's always like, you should try it. You should do this. You know, let's give Brian an opportunity when his band's like, let's go get this guy, blah, blah, blah. So he's always supported me. But yes, there's always been a dynamic deeply rooted in me that's like, motherfucker, like you're always the shit. But it doesn't hurt me anymore. Like, I love supporting people naturally. Yeah. You know, I always want to help others succeed. And it's how our mom raised us, you know, like, my mom is just, dude, my mom fucking 2 weeks ago was walking down the street. This is and a deer fucking was hit by a car, but still alive. She laid with it for an hour till animal control and put a blanket over it. And, like, that's our mom, dude.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
yep.
So it's like, that's how we were. She's just fucking, she's fucking compassion as a motherfucker. And that's where we get it from.
Yeah.
That's
and
great.
I gotta say, you know, a lot of people, I feel like this is a growing thing, but I don't know if it's growing or we're just becoming more aware. You know, I know several people that I've grown up with that have very similar challenges. You know, hats off to your parents, first of all. I mean, they're doing everything they can. And they got two young, very energetic, very, you know, very successful. I'll say success because I think you guys are both doing awesome work. But, you know, hats off to them for doing what they can in an unknown sort of, you know, there's really a lot of information that we just don't know yet as we start, you know, as we're now learning about a lot of things we didn't know 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. and you watch like the social dilemma, where how social media and our devices are now sort of driving us into these emotional, they're trying to pull emotions out of us to sell products or to make us think certain ways and stuff like that. And the music that Papa Roach writes, and we've talked a lot with Shinedown too. I think they've toured together a lot, and they have very similar crowds in regards to the pain people are feeling, the anxiety. Also, Five Finger Death Punch, we talk with those guys as well. There's a lot of music that just really, there's a lot of anger people have. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of depression. People are just battling that, and they don't know how to deal with. So when you come out, and talk about this stuff, I think it's really, 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 important to them. I mean, you probably already know all this stuff, but what I'm seeing is that the importance of you delivering this in an art form, a visual art form, is so helpful to a lot of people that are just unaware and just don't know what to do. And, they're just sort of going through the beginning stages or whatever stage they're in, where you've already sort of passed that stage probably. So I think that's really, really cool that you can take your passion, you can take your anger, your rage, whatever it is you have, and just sort of use it in an outlet in an artistic way, and show people that, you're going to go through a lot of hell, but use that hell creatively or something like that. Use your emotions creative, do something cool with it. And, look where you are, look what you're doing. And, I know a lot of it is because you grew up in a surrounding, your brother blew up and, he was able to pull you in. But beyond that, I mean, you're doing some great work with other bands, even if you just don't even talk about Papa Roach. Yeah. So, I think your story is just kind of beginning, and I think it's really important one.
Yeah. I mean, listen, a lot of people that have big followings in these platforms have already done it. You see pop stars like Justin Bieber, very transparent in the last few years, or
sure,
whatever. And so it's like, you always think like, well, a guy like me, like, what's important? And dude, even if it's two people that are moved by it, like, that's awesome, And so, like, I'm trying to figure out a way of kind of expressing this, because it's healing. To be fair, like, it's healing to me, but at the same time, I know after this video right here, a few people are going to hit me up and say they watched it, and it's going to move them, and it's going to change their fucking life, hopefully. And if it's two people, that's super rad. And I mean, dude, I don't know. It's healing for me, to be selfish, I guess, in a way. It feels so good. Two, it's just, dude, we have a duty as humans to lift each other up. Right now, a lot of people are fucking divided. I believe in this side in politics and this and that, and they're mean, and people are just mean right now and like judgy and just fucking nasty. And it's just not okay, dude. I'm sorry, but like, now more than ever is why I think I'm called to do this, because people aren't being very nice. And I have friends that support other sides of politics that I don't support, that I love a lot, and I don't want to feel like I have to hate them because the way everybody's or whatever. It's super wild, dude. And so now I guess I feel more we just somebody's gotta be nice to somebody. So if I can focus on trying to help right now, and now's the time that I'm ready to do that, I'm going for it right now. And I got to figure out how I'm going to do it, but I'm going for it in a certain degree. And I always try to use big bands as a platform to kind of do that as well.
Well, you might as well have fun while you're doing it too. I mean, that's a good release. To me, it is. That's why I miss the concerts right now. And like me and Glenn did driving concerts.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, dude. Concerts are a huge form of therapy for these people, for everybody. I posted a video the other day. I don't know if you guys saw it on my Instagram, but I'm like on the side of stage, and like 100,000 people are just jumping. And Kobe, and he's going, on the count of three, we're going to lose it. And I got chills, and I was just like, all these motherfuckers are literally in therapy right now.
Yep.
And that's taken from them right now. That's fucked up.
Yep. Absolutely.
Literally, it's therapy, dude. That ain't just like, oh, I'm just going to try to go get drunk. There's probably about, 10% people there just fucking off and getting drunk. But most of the people at those shows are like, this is my therapy. 100%.
And those getting drunk and stuff like that, I mean, this is their escape from probably the bullshit that they're dealing with on a daily basis.
Yeah, dude, it could be the fucking wife coming to the concert getting drunk because her husband's a piece of shit, or wife, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
That's her space to kind of do that with her girlfriends or whatever.
Yep.
So it's a crazy time, but long story short, this is now the time I'm finally starting to find that bravery. I mean, you saw me talk about it on James Michaels a bit, but right now I'm about to start to do some things that are in that space to really kind of go for it, you know?
You think about maybe going into like documentary type of stuff or anything like that? Because I think you have
I think that's always been my it's always been my MO is documentary. I'm not really a feature film movie guy. I'm not really a I'll direct a music video and stuff, but like I would love to find a story that is just amazing to tell. And I've been working on I won't say too much, but I'm working on some documentary stuff for Papa Roach for quite some time, and digitizing old tapes from the 90s and gathering. And I've done a lot of interviews with a lot of people already, like 20. I won't go into it too much, but I'm definitely doing something with that. And that's definitely a place I'm going to definitely go. Like I can tell a story, man. If I get the opportunity, I believe I can really tell something crazy. And I've always wanted to, people always tell me I need to be on camera, and I've always been super insecure to be on camera. And I think I want to start, like, I just don't like the way I look sometimes, to be honest. Like, it's a big thing, right?
I know that feeling.
That's most of us. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We got cameras for a reason.
Yeah. Exactly. So kudos to all of us for being on camera right now. But
yeah,
I want to start doing that because I've got, dude, I think I do have fucking a special talent of connection with people and a way to speak. And I think I'm a great speaker. I've been able to get free shit at Starbucks for fucking being a sweet talker. You know what I mean?
Use it, man. Use it.
You gotta start our podcast like we did.
Yeah. Well,
I started a podcast once and I did one episode and quit. It was just 2 years ago. And it was fucking awesome, dude. I did I called it, what'd I call it? Like, fuck, what? I don't even know what I called it, but I was just going to interview.
It was that good, huh?
And the first guy I interviewed worked at Pixar, and he was dying from cancer, and he died 4 weeks later. And that's kind of what stopped me. But he was an animator. The dude did Brave Little Toaster, and he did like the Michael Jordan movie Space Jam.
Yeah.
And dude's a legend, but he died like 4 weeks later, and I just didn't feel right to put it out or do anything, and I kind of stopped.
Oh, wow.
But it was the dude cried on there. It was powerful because he was like, I just want my kids to remember. He knew he was done. Like he literally had terminal cancer and did my podcast with me.
Wow.
And that was pretty crazy. And that's the only one I ever did.
That's amazing. I mean, that's hard, but it's also amazing. Yeah.
We owe it all to Jason for getting this thing together for us. So
yeah,
so a lot of work for us. So.
Normally, I'm technically the new guy for the venue. These guys have been with the venue for a while. 2019 was my first year with the venue. And then 2020 hit, and I was like, "Fuck, what are we gonna do?" And I was like, "What if we just interview people on a podcast?" And these guys were like, "No, that's fucking stupid." And I was like, "Come on, let's just do it." And then, sure enough, people just started jumping on. So we've been talking to all kinds of people. So it's been really cool.
That's the cool thing is you don't have to have a huge following. Like I feel like I don't care if 5 people watch this. It's a great way to like to express yourself and just talk about some shit. Like it doesn't matter. Like, obviously there's the things when you got to market a record and you want to go get on Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, but like just talking like this, dude, because a band can go share this on their platform and say some shit that they may never be able to say in Spin Magazine or whatever, whatever, Brent, or no, you didn't do Brent. Who did you get? What's his face from Shinedown, drummer?
We did.
We interviewed him. Barry, yeah. Yeah,
so he probably got to talk about stuff in depth that he would never say in an interview, and that's pretty rad for an artist or a person.
Yeah. We tend to come at a different angle because we're talking about photography or something like that, so we can kind of pull people in a different direction. Yeah, try to. So when it comes to like you said you were like on 25 different medications and stuff like that. Now that you've been older and you've kind of worked your way through that, what do you say to people who have to take medications, or what's your experience nowadays for that stuff?
Well, I think there's certain situations where people might need to be on medication where that's the only option.
Right.
Like you're pretty far gone, and you know, you have something like a borderline personality where it's just like, that's a pretty heavy thing, like to control that you need to like be on meds. The thing is there are ways to heal instabilities in life, instabilities, depression or bipolar or rage seizures or whatever the fuck you've got going on. And it's pretty much, I think the recipe is doing something that brings you joy and doing it, and not just sitting in the fucking corner in the dark, you know? So if you're into cooking, fucking cook all day, all fucking day, every day. Make TikTok videos cooking. If you're into fucking music, make music all day. And so actors, musicians, painters, fucking all these people are literally doing this. So there's a lot of people that just fucking sit around. People play video games to fucking heal their depression or whatever, sure. Right? So I just think what I would say to people now is try to at least do some things that bring you joy. Don't sit around and make excuses and say, poor me, my do. Like, it's just like, fucking do something before you say poor me. Right. If then you can't do that, then I say try to get on meds. You know, like meds is a second thing. At this point, we're a lot more educated, right? We know that pharmaceutical companies are pushing doctors to fucking push things down people's throats. So we're not dumb anymore. We're like, no, what the fuck is this med? Like, look at all the shit that just came out with COVID. Like, I'm probably going to take the vaccine because it's, you know, what we need to probably do. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, fuck, you're telling we got to go do shit. And, you know, we probably do. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like drugs and manufacturers, they push it down people, not just vaccines, but pills for whatever, you know, and it's part of the deal. And so doctors get paid to push that shit, right? Yep. They get paid. Yep. And so we're educated now. Back in the 90s, we weren't as educated. There wasn't internet and all this shit. So you're just like, all right, the doctor's saying it? Fucking sure. Now we're fucking woke motherfuckers. You know, we're all woke. Yeah. You know, and so so meds are not for everybody, to answer your question, but I'd say try to do some things that you love first, because that's the recipe. I'll be honest, I'll just be transparent with my ex-girlfriend. She was a dancer, professional dancer, and that was what kept her stable. And when that got taken from her, that's when it shit got kind of sideways with us. That's you know, right. that was her thing. And I pissed about it because I'm like, man, she was doing what she was supposed to do. You know, and because of that, she's fucking lost it on the deep end. And so that's my answer in a long thing, I guess. But meds are not the end. I mean, they can be good too. They can.
Yeah, you know, obviously we're not doctors, so we can't recommend anything. I do have the I'm lucky enough to live with someone who actually is a holistic, who's learning or studying to be a holistic nurse, and learning a lot of new stuff and a lot of new techniques for stuff like that, such as microdosing and stuff like that. I don't know much about that, but
I've actually looked into that. I did mushrooms a few weeks ago, actually, when we were in the studio with Papa Roach for this new record. We rented a big mansion, and a couple of us did mushrooms that night, and it was like the happiest I've fucking felt ever. And I'm like, and I did more than I probably should, but I was like, this is crazy. I'm smiling. I feel really happy. So then I really kind of was curious about that. But going back to your holistic thing, like, dude, if you eat healthy, that's going to change your fucking thing. Like, I drink alcohol a lot these days, and I know if I didn't drink alcohol, I'd be a lot more happy every day, you know, and stable. So it is, you know, we got to watch what you're putting in your body too. Obviously that'd be a huge thing, but that's hard to do. Yeah. That's a hard one to do. Like, really watch what you're putting in your body, because a lot of times when you put shit in your body, it makes you feel good.
Yeah, and
like your brain I just had
in my M&Ms or whatever. Yes.
Hey, M&Ms are good.
Yeah, they are. That's the problem.
Good and good for you.
Yeah, food, exercise, all that stuff. But yeah, microdosing is something that's brand new, and it's, you know, it's not necessarily legal or anything like that, but studies are really showing some really positive.
Oregon, you can buy heroin now and fucking mushrooms.
Well, I'm not condoning any of that stuff. I'm just saying, no, it's something worth looking
you're right
into.
Though, dude. I believe in it, dude. Once more studies come out, I could back that, because there's something to mushrooms for sure.
Yep. So you had a Alice Cooper story you were wanting to tell us, or you were going to tell us.
I was just, it just reminded me, it's going back to the beginning, my humble beginnings. So when I very first started doing the VIP meet and greet thing, I got asked by when I worked at the Hard Rock Cafe, they did this thing where they would like do a battle of bands. And if the band won, they win 25 grand and like a record deal or some whatever. So, and every Hard Rock would do it around the world. And so I got asked to do this one in South Lake Tahoe, and they're like, Bryson, do you want to be a judge? And I was like, I fucking guess. Like, I'm not that awesome. Like, I'm just a VIP coordinator. Like, I've never done anything. And so they get me there, and I'm like sitting at the thing, and I'm like looking next to me, and I'm like, who are these guys next to me? And they start announcing the names, and I'm like, first guy, they're like, Bryson Roatch. He's no, they do the other guys first. They go, Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of fucking Apple, is here today as a judge. And I'm like, okay, this guy's a billionaire. Cool. Like, whatever. And then I'm like, next to me, they're like, Chuck Garrick, bass player of Alice Cooper, fucking blah, blah, world rock star. And then they're like, Bryson Roatch, VIP coordinator, fucking Papa Roach. And I'm like sitting next to a billionaire and a fucking rock star from Alice Cooper. And that's my story in a nutshell, but it was hilarious because as time gone on, I would see Chuck in like different countries, and we were like, remember that time? And he's like, yeah, man, you're really doing it now. And I'm like, I'm doing it. But like, I would do a show with Alice Cooper, and I'd see him, and many a times I still see him to this day, kind of on tour at a festival usually or something. Yeah. And I don't see Steve Wozniak anywhere, but it was just hilarious, dude, because I'm fucking judging next to a billionaire and a rock star, and I had done nothing yet. Yeah.
Dude, that's
great. And I just thought that I love that story, like when it comes up appropriately, because it's just funny.
Yeah, it just shows your it gives you that early experience to say, all right, this is where I want to be, this is where I am, this is the stairs that I want to climb, sit next to me, basically.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like I was just telling my friend the other day, like when I was a kid, I used to like listen to 3 Days Grace, and I used to listen to Hollywood Undead and listen to Creed and like all these like bands that saved my life. And now they all follow me on Instagram, and they like text me, and they're my buddies. And I'm like, this is it's so cool though, because I've seen these things at a young age, and I didn't think I was going to be friends with these people and talk to them, but I looked up to them and thought they were so cool. And it goes the same with these rock stars that look up to people, and then they become a rock star, and then they're playing shows with, Poison or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think I thought that was really cool when I was talking to my friend the other day, because he's in the snowboard industry, and he's always wanted to he worked at retail at like a shitty little snowboard shop. Now he works for a huge outdoor industry called Smith. They make like goggles and all this stuff. And he's friends with all these snowboarders that are pros that he looked up to. And I was like, it's so cool, man. Like that we are here now, and this is for real, I mean, trippy.
Yeah. That's so cool.
All
right. I think we're good. You guys got any other questions you want to ask? Anything?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate your time. It was good. It was very good.
The only question I've got is, you said you're going to do that video with the mannequin and stuff. Where are we going to put it out on?
I'll do some like Instagram and some YouTube stuff. One idea I had is I wanted to kind of like show all this stuff I've been through, and then like cover the microphone and be like, but this is where I'm at now, and then show my video work, like this is where I came from. That will be like a quick piece. And then I want to put out the piece of my mom and me talking for God knows how long that's going to go, an hour, I think it'd be a pretty cool piece for people to see, like, because it's like, that's usually what happens. You're going through this experience as a kid or whatever, teenager with a family member or a loved one, and so I want somebody to see like two people that have been through something together, and we're fucking killing it. And my parents are still married, and they almost divorced because of me as a kid. But like, I don't think I've seen anything like it before. So I think it'd be a fucking pretty powerful
that'll be
piece.
pretty impactful, I think, too.
I'd like to see it. Yeah. I
mean, so I mean, honestly, guys, it's like, I've been so fucking dreading it. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, I know it's gonna trigger some shit, and I'm gonna get pissed a little bit, and she's gonna be upset, but it's just, I'm just like, hopefully I just do it tomorrow. I need to just do it. We keep both putting it off. But a mannequin's here. It's in my fucking car. So,
we wish you luck with that. I commend you for that.
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
it in the passenger seat?
Maybe I'll fucking go get it tonight, and I'll go do this right now.
There you go.
Maybe I'll go get a bottle of vodka, and I'll just I'll take a couple of shots so I'm like a little more relaxed and get my mom all.
Yeah,
We'll
don't
just
go.
cry. Oh yeah.
Don't go too crazy on the vodka. That could go in the whole thing could go
yeah,
wrong direction.
They're going to tailspin for you.
No, I won't go do that. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go drink apple juice.
Too much sugar. Water.
So now that you've been off for the last 9-10 months or whatever, I know you got some stuff you started working on or it got in play for next year, but do you have any big plans for next year that you can talk about? Anything, maybe once the tour start up or anything like that? What's your agenda?
I mean, at the top of the year, usually my years are pretty slow. January, February, March. Usually I'm like, all right, no work. This year, I've actually got some stuff. And so Papa Roach will be putting out new music, and I'll be working on a bunch of creative for them. I just landed this thing with Rise Against, which I'll start to nurture that relationship. It's a very new one. It's a record label, so they have other artists. And my goal is to kind of nurture that relationship, be on a retainer. I'm directing a music video on the 5th of January, which is going to be sick as fuck. So those things are going to start off my year. And to be honest, from what I hear, touring's not really going to be a thing till maybe the last quarter of the year again, fall. Maybe you might get some summer kind of drive-in shit. But again, from what I've heard, that's not much. And to be honest, man, I'm trying to find it. Like I said, I'm trying to find a thing of where I'm not on the road all the time. Like I'm down to go out there, but I'm really looking forward to this experience I haven't had in 7 years. And that is just kind of doing me and getting healthy and not just go. Cause that's also been a thing that's not been the best for me. Right. And you're just kind of putting everything under the rug, bills, you just go. And it's just like, sometimes it's nice to just feel for once, like normalness, touring's rad, but you do put it a lot under the rug, relationships, finances. Dude, I started investing this year for once because of fucking having time, stock and real estate and all this shit. So it's kind of interesting, but that's just keep working on me, man. And that's about it.
Cool.
I don't know what this year's going to hold, dude.
Yeah. It's a surprise. Well, who knows? Right. Exactly.
We're all in it together though, man. That's what's fucking really rad.
Yep. So for people who, for some reason may not know who you are or where you are, how can people find you online and stuff like that?
So what's up? My name is Bryson. I'm just kidding. Hello, my name is Bryson. I'm 32 and I like long walk on the beach. No, I'm just kidding.
This is Tinder too.
Is this not a dating show? Is this not Grindr? Anyways, you can. I guess the best place for me is Bryson Roatch, Bryson, and the last name is Roach, Roatch, and I'm on the Instagram mostly. That's where I mostly live. But if you guys were inspired by this chat, feel free to DM me, ask me any questions. You're not alone. You know what I'm saying? And you're fucking born for greatness.
Hey, thanks for watching our episode with Bryson Roatch. We hope you enjoyed it. Check out new episodes every Thursday night on our YouTube channel and on talesfromthepit.net. We'll see you next time.